And we're live. Well, actually, we're not exactly live.
No, we're not live.
we're
pretending to be live.
Yes, exactly.
We are alive, though.
Yeah. That's true.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for being here today. Vera and I are off on one of our adventures.
Well, you are, not me.
Yeah, I'm on an
Hawaii bound.
adventure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we wanted to be here with you today on Saturday and share with you a little bit about something that so many of us have questions about.
Yes.
And the topic today,
my favorite,
which happens to be Vera's specialty, mixed with relationships, which is also your specialty because you have a lot of questions that come to you about relationships.
A lot. Yes.
And what so many of us want to know is, does our past lives affect our relationships? So we are going to dive in, as we say, and start with a example that you have from one of your soul life reading clients.
Correct. And her name is Jenna.
Okay.
And she has a deep connection with someone in her current lifetime that they had a past life before. They had a couple, 3 or 4, I think, past lives together. But the one that's most affecting this one is the life where her friend now in this current life was a singer, a musician in a past life. And he was,
ragtime
era. And she was also, I believe, I can't remember if she was a dancer or somehow connected with that troupe. Like he would go from different places and then she followed. So they eventually had a relationship.
Okay.
And he actually had a wife from where he was originally from.
Got
and
you.
He would garner different girlfriends everywhere he went.
Oh, wow.
Which was,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very
interesting because I'm wondering, interesting to me because I'm wondering if his situation in this lifetime.
Can you see my boogers?
No. And I'm really looking.
It's leaking. And we don't have
do you want a tissue?
Yeah.
Excuse me, studio audience.
Can we have a Kleenex, please?
Studio audience.
Sorry, guys. I don't want to go like that.
We need
thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
In unison.
AKA Mom. All right.
Well, you just gave it away. Now it's not a studio audience.
Well, it's a vast audience. It's just one person that came forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So, all right.
So that was just what was done back then. Not everybody did, but that particular singer did it.
Do you know who the particular singer is?
No, I do, but I don't want to say.
Got you.
Yes.
So,
because then they'll know who it is.
Oh, I understand. That makes sense.
Okay. Because I believe I talked about it before. I'm not sure. Yeah. So anyway, they had this relationship. She fell very much in love with him. And then he was off to the next town, which she still followed. Because I don't know. I haven't gone back to look at their past life, but I believe she was somehow involved in the show somehow.
Wow.
And so she would follow, but then she was replaced because they were in a different town, in different, but she would still be there. And when it was convenient, then they would have a relationship. And then when it wasn't, he would keep dating other people.
That's really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's painful.
Yeah.
When you're in
love
with someone.
This lifetime, whenever my client first saw this guy, it was like
just like boom.
Lightning bolts, man, because it was its soul recognizes soul. And unfortunately, it's the same kind of situation in this current lifetime. They were together for a little while, but then he moved on.
I see.
But there's still this deep connection for her. I mean, he knows it, but he's in a different mindset, which is really the same mindset as he was in that past life. Because
I
in this
see.
lifetime, doesn't have really how do you say it? A commitment type relationship.
I
Yeah.
see. Wow.
As far as I know, anyway. So that's why sometimes it's really confusing because you're thinking, "Oh, I had this deep connection, what the heck's going on?" But in this lifetime, she's supposed to learn how to move on and honor herself by being with someone that truly wants to be with her, and love her the way she deserves to be loved.
That is such an
Yeah.
important lesson. And it's just so fulfilling when we can get
Yeah.
that.
So that's why the lesson has to be learned in this lifetime, or she might want to come back again and try it again. So it's just better to get it over with, and then you move on to whatever else that you
Yes,
want to experience in
right.
this lifetime.
It's sort of like a repeating pattern
It's
until
a
we
very
get
much
it.
so repeating pattern until
Mhm.
you realize, because in this lifetime, he was also supposed to realize that
I
and
see.
has not.
Has not
Mhm.
yet.
Right. Yet.
And
Yeah.
there still could be time in this lifetime for them to, or
But it's not for a while.
I
And a while
see.
means many years.
And that's hard when we're, I don't want to say young, but you have your life in front of you and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to plan. I want to be in
It's going to be a late in life type
Mhm.
relationship if she's going to find someone else.
I see.
But then something happens and they meet again and it triggers it again.
Wow.
But this time he's ready.
I see.
And we'll have to see if she is or
Oh
not.
my gosh. I am so wanting to see part 2 of the
Yeah.
story. But
Because
we're going
so
to have to
far,
wait a few years.
yeah, it's so far, it's just like, I love you from his point of view, but I don't have time for this right now. I'm not ready. I just want what I want.
Right.
And then for her, it's like, but we have a great connection and all this great stuff. And that's really what scares him, because they do have a great connection. And then if he knows if he does that, then, there's this deep rooted, deep seated fear that he's going to be tied down and just be
Mhm.
miserable, because that's what it was in a previous lifetime.
I see.
Not the singer lifetime. The singer
Right.
lifetime, he was having a blast. But I believe he actually died of syphilis, because that was
Oh,
rampant, because they didn't have
right.
penicillin.
They didn't know.
Mhm.
They're
Well, look
having
at George
fun
Washington and all those guys. They had it too.
right.
So yeah.
Wow. But see, this is very, very good point, is that at the root of a lot of the cell memory that affects us in that way
Mhm.
is fear,
Right.
some type of fear.
Right.
And if we can get over that, there could be a lot of,
Yeah.
we could feel lighter and happiness garnered.
Yeah. But there's also issues from current lifetime that's kind of dampered that as well on his side, his
I
end.
see.
And then she's just like, please, I just want to love you,
Right.
and that's coming from deep within, because it's a great
Mhm.
connection, but he's just not
Mhm.
ready.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you
Yeah.
never, you know
So
what?
that's kind of one of the things that when I tell clients, sometimes you're like, you get this great connection, but it's supposed to be just like ships passing through the night. It's just something that's not for very long until you learn that lesson and then you move on.
Mhm,
Or
right.
you can learn your lesson and then just get together again, and it's marvelous. So it's so unique and individual.
Yeah, and it's so amazing that really on the other side we charted to do this because we wanted to learn that lesson. That part is so important to us,
Mhm.
but then we kind of sometimes can get caught in the emotion or
Very
the
much so.
chemistry. We
Yeah,
feel it
because
and
it's
we
like,
want to
come
have
on, you don't
that.
feel what I feel, and they
Yeah.
do, but it's scary, scary, scary.
Scary. I know that's so interesting you say that, Vera, because I was thinking about a situation in my past when you were telling me about this person. It was the same kind of thing, it feels like to me, where I was so into them, but they had all these different women.
Mhm.
And really at the heart of it was it scared him because in a past life we were married.
Mhm.
And it's hard
Well,
to
but you also had people in the background screwing it up, because in
Mhm.
this lifetime, it was supposed to that he had learned his lesson, and it was supposed to be a great match.
Wow.
But didn't turn out that way.
Right. But see, that's a great point,
Mhm.
because sometimes it's like, if the other person doesn't learn their lesson, maybe we do, maybe they don't.
But the most important thing is you have to learn your lesson.
That is
It's up to them what they have to, what they
Right.
want to go through.
And if we don't have it with them,
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that we won't have it with somebody else. Because if we charted to be in a just a beautiful relationship, even if it doesn't work out with that person, it can still work out. It's in your chart, but it may be with somebody else.
Mhm.
So I'm still working on that one. Anyway,
any takers, you can drop me an email.
But
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Any takers?
Are you trying to get rid of me?
No. I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we have another really interesting example from a celebrity that you did, actually, and how that past life cell memory from that person is affecting their relationships, whether they
don't give a
they don't
crap.
whether they realize it or not, or care or not. But this is Bill Maher. And actually, Vera, you talked about his past life before,
right?
And we wanted to bring it up in the sense of the fact that in this past life, he was completely in love.
I want to see if you could talk without your hands.
I'll sit on them.
No, you don't have to. I just wanted to see.
I'm not Italian or anything.
In a past life, you were.
Exactly. So he was completely in love with his wife.
This is a past life.
Yeah, in a past life. And
Right.
actually,
he was a preacher in a past life. And he believed and believed and believed in his religion so much until
his wife got very, very, very sick. And he was absolutely sure that God was going to save her. Well,
because he was doing so much good, he felt.
Yeah.
That he of course God was going to protect him and his wife.
Right. And he was like, he would travel. He was like
a traveling
preacher
kind of thing.
And very zealous and all this. But then,
and opinionated, which he still has in this lifetime.
Most very much.
Yeah.
But she was his world.
Yes.
She was everything to him. So when she died, because she did, he was absolutely soul crushed and devastated.
Yeah.
And at that time,
and damned God for it.
Right. Lost his
belief just went out the window.
And so it's really, really fascinating, because as massively successful as he is in this lifetime, and
I believe his family grew up Catholic, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, though. I got that.
But the cell memory has definitely affected his relationships in this lifetime, because he's against them.
He doesn't want any intimate, unless he's changed from the last time I did it, which I don't think so.
Right. But he's actually come out to say that, he doesn't get intimately attached to anyone, and actually is atheist too.
Yep. Doesn't believe in God. This is it. There's nothing else. Bam. Boy, is he going to be surprised.
I know it. So it's a very fascinating.
Or we will.
Yeah. He'll be like, see, I told you.
Yeah, really.
That's true. But so that's a very, very good example of how much we can carry cell memory, and like it just slaps us between the eyes when we come into life.
It does.
And that's an opportunity for us, though, if we can overcome it or not. So,
and that's up to us.
Exactly.
But that soul pool is so massive. And that's where you have to understand, okay, this is a different lifetime. Maybe I'm supposed to learn something different, in case you don't know that you had a past life with that person, or that it's not working out. But
yes,
you have to do what's right for you.
Yes,
definitely.
Okay. Now we have another example that we wanted to share from a client of Vera's named Cecily. And she had
where do you come up with these names?
Well, we have to
Paulette.
Well, we're being very discreet.
Sorry, go ahead.
So Cecily It's a very common name.
It is. In the 1800s.
Well, anyway,
No, it's popular, I guess.
so yes. So she was one of your she had a soul life reading with you.
Mhm.
And she just ended a relationship, you were saying,
Mhm.
that was very significant for her. And she was having a little bit of a tough time with it.
Right.
But the fascinating thing about this relationship is that you found that they had a past life together. And he was carrying the cell memory in this situation.
Mhm.
So I remember you talking about the fact that in their relationship together, he wanted her to live a secular life, so no spiritual
Mm-mm.
beliefs or anything.
It had to be what he believed.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
And so they had these goals together, right?
Which was confusing to Cicely because he had a business card that said mind, body, spirit,
right,
but yet didn't believe in anything.
right.
Or he believed in stuff, but not the spiritual aspect. He was religious.
He wasn't religious at all.
At all.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't religious in any way.
Oh, wow.
And he was like,
Then why would he
it's gonna
have
be-
mind? Okay, go ahead.
that's the thing. Well,
Cell
anyways,
memory.
yeah. And so this person, yeah, wanted to be a doctor. So mind, body, and spirit, you think, oh, that's amazing, holistically or spiritually, and the medical field together is like make
And
a great.
usually doctors see things that we never see, that they know there's something bigger than they are.
Exactly. So Cecily, being very very spiritual,
Right.
she because obviously she came to you for soul life reading. She believes in past lives.
Of course.
And
Well, she was very spiritual.
yeah, exactly. And it's kind of hard to
You
give
know-
up one's beliefs. I mean, how do you do that?
I have to see what the behavior panel would say, because whenever you were talking, I went like this. Does that mean I want to say something else?
Maybe it does.
Yeah, I can't remember what they said that means. Anyhow,
Well,
go
if
ahead.
any of you watch the behavioral panel, let
You
us
can
know
let
in
us
the
know,
comments
yeah, what that
what
means.
what
And not in the
your
nasty way,
assessment
in a really pure way.
of this video. Yeah.
Because I can imagine what people are going to say.
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway.
Sorry, I
Oh,
digress.
no, that's okay. Well, it was just fascinating because how does somebody expect their partner to give up their spiritual beliefs? That is very unfair.
Right.
I mean, how do you do that? You
And
can't do that.
selfish.
Yeah, it is selfish because that's like telling somebody, I mean, come on, that's like you can't be yourself. You have to be what I want you to be.
Mhm.
And that's just not okay.
But they were controlling anyway.
Right. But the cool thing about it is, I'm kind of proud of her that she stood up for herself
Yeah.
and she walked away from the relationship
Yeah.
because he wasn't budging and she wasn't going to give up her spiritual beliefs.
Right.
But the coolest thing about it is that you found a past life that they shared. It kind of makes sense.
Mhm.
Makes a lot of sense, actually. And it was during
Holy Grail.
the Holy Grail, the quest.
For the Holy Grail, yeah.
Yeah, and he was on one, and you also, I remember you saying that her he had reoccurring dreams from early in his life
Mhm.
where he and his brother were fighting and like his brother died or something. It was like a reoccurring dream all the time, and you had gotten that they were in that lifetime together,
Right.
and that for a few years out on this quest, and there was all this death and just
Yeah.
death everywhere, killing and death, and never did find the grail.
No, because
and
it wasn't around.
and he was just, when his brother died on the battlefield, I remember you saying that he was just again
Devastated. Mhm.
devastated and soul crushed and felt like God had forsaken him.
Exactly.
That's interesting. It's kind of a theme today, isn't
Yeah.
it? But
blame
yes,
God.
blame
Yeah.
God. Right.
When you wrote the past life, you wrote your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's such an amazing example again of how cell memory can affect our relationships because they could have, had this life together.
Yeah.
But cell memory was affecting him so much.
And he wouldn't budge like he didn't back then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But on the other side of it,
He was supposed to work through it.
Mhm.
And that's why you showed up.
Wow. You meant Cecily.
I mean, Cecily.
Wow, that's
Oh,
really
God,
cool.
I don't know why I do things.
That's
that
really cool, though.
Yes, it was
It-
very cool.
That's amazing insight.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, okay. So, Vera, we want
Yeah.
to hear about what crystal you
Oh,
have to share with
yes.
us
This
today.
is really a good one, too. And this really helps a lot of people, and not just for past lives, but holding on to relationships that are no longer valid and no longer work in your life. So you have to just, because you're holding on to someone that's
Whoop.
not who you think they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the guy that or girl or whoever is waiting in the wings, like, well, where are they? And you're too busy holding on to something that's not real.
Right.
It's something that
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So snowflake obsidian.
Okay, I was just showing everybody the quest for the Holy Grail, even though we just talked about it. It's
okay.
kind of cool. All right. Except for all the death,
that's
of course.
pretty bloody. But that's snowflake obsidian, and it's a self-healing energy crystal.
God. And just to your
Per-
point, I mean, Vera, it's so true how it's not necessarily real.
Right. It isn't,
What
because
we're
you're holding on to
thinking.
something that you either believe they were or they weren't in a past life, and they aren't now.
Right. And then they're holding on to their own vision sometimes.
Exactly. And they're not budging either.
Mhm.
So the snowflake obsidian is in charge of the root chakra and the third eye, because it has so much intuition. And the root chakra is so very important. Even though we always want to have our crown chakra open and our third eye open, we have to have our root chakra open so that we can maneuver in this life, because it's
Wow.
the root of everything that we need to experience in life.
Well, this
Yeah.
makes so much sense to me, because I'm always thinking about the chakras you just talked about, like my
Mhm.
heart chakra
Mhm.
and up here.
Yeah, we always
I don't
want
think
this
about
one.
that one.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's like
Yeah.
survival and
Survival.
relationships and nourishing and
Mhm.
everything that you're saying.
Exactly. Passion, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So the obsidian, the snowflake obsidian, is actually so much like our soul. That's what gives me chills when I talk about it, because it's like a snowflake. It's like, it's like a snowflake, because not every one of those are exactly the same. Those little white things that are on the
Mhm.
but it represents our soul, because we're all unique. We're all
Oh,
different.
wow.
So that's all of our
love
souls in all of our past
it.
lives. And we have one soul in all of these past lives.
We're all on there.
Yeah, really.
That
much.
is so
And
neat.
it comes from the sky,
I love that.
right? And then it mixes with, it's a meteorite, comes to the earth, and it melts with obsidian.
Wow.
And obsidian is like a mirror looking into your soul.
Mhm.
And then it cools, and that's where you get the white.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
So-
is
yeah.
really,
So
really
it's
cool.
magma coming in contact with water.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
That
So it's very
is.
grounding, because it is from the earth as well, because it came from the sky to the earth. And it gives you clarity, energy for clarity, because you have your root chakra taken care of, and then everything just follows along.
Oh, wow.
You
This is neat. Now I
Yeah.
want to get an obsidian, like
Me too.
I want to get one of your obsidian crystal bracelets when you have those available for us.
I just ordered some.
Did you really?
Yeah, so I
Oh,
can make some
great.
bracelets. Yeah.
Because I really want that.
Yeah. And then it has it puts our dreams into action.
Oh, wow.
Like that little kitty cat that you sent me last
Yeah.
night. And all of those stars are all your opportunities, like I told my Emmy. And you just have to grab them. You just have to grab them. That's all, they're there for you.
We are loving this. This
Yeah.
is really neat.
It embraces stability, which when you figure out who you really are and what you want in this lifetime, and you're not going to let anyone stand in your way,
Wow.
you don't do mean things, though. It's to help people too. I don't mean to like push people out of the
Oh,
way.
well, it's like standing up for yourself or
Right,
protecting people and achieving goals that are positive.
And it enhances your past life recall. It expands your awareness of, being able to understand, oh, that's why I have this interest in this person or this thing or this genre, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it helps you to take those lessons and learn them, and then push past the mistakes that you've made in the past and then just live
Ooh.
your life.
Oh, we
Yeah.
need this. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
And it creates a stronger resolve within you because you have so much more confidence.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's really a powerful stone. It really is because of the obsidian too. But it like really helps you to understand, like, oh wow, that's what I've been going through, and then you do something to change that and move forward.
That makes
But you
so
have
much
to have
sense.
action. You can't just sit there and say, "Okay, little obsidian, help me."
Yeah, I
You
know
have to
it.
move. You have to do things for yourself.
Yeah.
It keeps us focused, brings us back to our current lifetime because we're supposed to be living in this one, even though we have the parallel and all that stuff. But we still have to have that strength and that confidence within.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting too, because this brings up a good point, how a lot of times we have people that, or sometimes we ourselves are like, come on, God, help me out here, or
Yeah.
angels or whatever.
Mhm.
And a part of us being here is we also have to make it happen.
Yeah.
We have to activate. And sometimes it's not easy. We get in
Exactly.
our comfort zone.
And amethyst goes along with the snowflake obsidian because it helps you to release bad habits.
Ooh,
And
that's
that's
good.
and addictions, because sometimes people can be an addiction, not just drugs or alcohol and things like that.
I totally agree with that.
And it helps you not to relapse.
Oh, that's good.
So that's good energy right
for
there.
no booty calls.
That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Don't call that ex. Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't want to be your 3 a.m.
But it's so interesting though, because one of the things that they say is that the first 2 weeks after, like say after a breakup, or after quitting smoking or whatever type of addiction, is the hardest, is the first 2 weeks. And I have felt that way when after a breakup. It's like the first 2 weeks, like, oh, it's like being addicted to a person.
Yeah, but after it's 2 years instead of 2 weeks, then that's where it
Yeah.
becomes an addiction, or it becomes like a bad habit, which is an addiction.
Right. Wow, that's great.
Yes.
I totally and fully love snowflake
I
obsidian.
do too, and I have so many of them around here.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was telling Chrissy, I can't find my snowflake obsidian. I know I have a jar full of snowflake obsidian. I'm running around the house going, in the other house, I would know exactly where it is. And I'm running around, and then I sit down, and then suddenly, I don't know why, I look over. On the coffee table is the jar full of the snowflake obsidian.
Vera, did you want me to run and grab your bracelet? Since this is
to show people
or
or
did you want to do that separately?
No, we can do
like
it
later. Want me to go grab it? Okay, talk amongst
yourselves. Oh God, what do I say?
Well, tell them how you made this bracelet and put the energy.
Okay, well, this bracelet is actually to help you with addictions, and it could be relationships. It could be any addiction that you have. It could be, like I did an article on the website for opiates, and there was one before that from Mary that was about cigarettes, and then there was another one I had that was about alcohol.
Oops.
Oh, you broke it. Oops. It just doesn't want to stay up.
Okay, wait. Here we go. I'm going to have you show them because look what I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the one that I made for, how do I show
You
it?
know what? Here, I'll go like this. I'll behave this time.
Okay.
I'll be very, very, very
well.
cool.
It's actually, hello. There we go. I don't know if you can really see it, but it has rose quartz. It has selenite. It has amethyst, of course, and it has the carnelian to bring the passion back in, to get you moving and past all those lessons that you've already learned. And that's more amethyst. And then that is I have to have my rainbow moonstone.
So gorgeous.
And then those are 2 hematites, would help with, it's a very healing stone. So it helps you when you're going through all the withdrawals or whatever it is that you go through.
Wow.
And the other side is the same.
Oh,
and this is selenite too. And this selenite, it charges your crystals. It releases all negativity from all your crystals. You don't have to put water on your, especially not selenite. This crystal bracelet cannot be around water because these 2 stones, the selenite, will dull. And we don't want that to happen.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
See, that's awesome.
So we're going to have it on the website for sale for a limited time. I don't
Yeah.
remember when.
It's a limited edition,
Right.
basically. You're only
Yeah.
going to do a certain amount.
Right.
And
And then
that's
next month
it.
I'll do another one. That's going to be
Mhm.
limited. I'm not going to have like an array of all kinds. It's just going to
Mhm.
be once a month I'll have a great.
Different bracelet.
Yeah.
What I love about this one too is that a lot of us, even if we don't have like a certain type of addiction, we might
Oh,
have
rose
a,
quartz. Did I say rose quartz?
well, I don't know, but I love the
Yeah.
rose
And that's all
quartz.
about self-love and love, loving
Yeah, we love
your
that.
life, that kind of thing.
But we might have like a certain type of lifestyle or an
Mhm.
outdated belief or something going on that we want to not necessarily carry anymore.
Yes.
Like cell memory.
Yes. And
Some
this
sort.
just really helps. And that
Yes.
amethyst is such a power stone too. It's
Mm.
just amazing. But so is rose quartz. They're all good.
All right. So I'm going to show everyone now. This is an angel that we've showed you before, but the reason I'm
Mhm.
showing this to you is because this is our virtue angel, and they are the keeper of your chart. Just like how she's walking with the baby,
Mhm.
your virtue angels has been with you your entire.
We probably should have a little
lifetime.
black thing on the butt. You know how it is nowadays. You have
Isn't
to
that the
block
truth?
everything. Yeah.
But yeah, so what's fascinating about this angel is that not only does she keep you on your chart,
Mhm.
but she helps with the psychological
Mhm.
aspect of cell memory, which is exactly what we're talking about right
Right.
now, fear. And so she's the one that you can visualize helping you to, release and work through this type of cell memory, whatever it might be.
Right.
Even if you don't know what it is, she can help reveal it to you in dream time through regressions. Like if
Mhm.
you have a soul journey session with Vera or a soul life reading, it can be revealed at that time.
Right.
Or just to help you to get over whatever type of fear is happening there.
No more fear.
Exactly. So
You could be scared.
yeah, and
That moves you forward, being
Mhm.
scared.
But it's really interesting because our virtue angel is actually a mentor to our spirit guide
That's
because they've
awesome.
been with us through all of our lifetimes, which
Mhm.
is amazing. And they can see how cell memory from a past life, like say with the musician, that Jenna's boyfriend, and
Somehow I feel that we should have Starbucks.
we should.
It's like, where are they? Go ahead.
But anyway, but yeah, it can help us to
Mhm.
release that cell memory. Even if we don't know what it is, we can actually work through it. I mean, look at how so many of us don't know about our past lives, but we might stand up for ourselves in a situation and we find
Yeah.
out years later, oh, I didn't know I knew them from an old West lifetime,
Yeah.
But so we can be
Yeah.
helped by our angels even if we don't
Yeah.
realize
And
it.
what we have to do too is sometimes we have to listen. I know we're supposed to be talking to them, telling them our issues and things, but stop for a minute and listen, because you'll get feedback.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. People don't trust it because they think they're making things up, and you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause a lot of times we think, oh, it's just a coincidence.
Or I'm using my imagination. Well, guess what? You
Mhm.
can't imagine anything you've not experienced
Yeah.
before.
Like just the other day, Mom and I were talking, and then all of a sudden there was this knock. We were talking about something really important to us, and then there was this knock.
3 times?
Gunk, gunk. Yeah. Like a creak in the room when it was no, that doesn't usually happen. So things like that, even if you don't hear them talking, something, like a light may flicker or what have you. So
Yeah.
look for the signs.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, is there anything else that we want to tell our friends today?
Just that we love them.
Yes, we love you. We want to thank you for joining us today. And we would love to hear if you feel that you have had any relationship experiences or any past life experiences that you want to share, anything that you want to share. We'd love to hear it. Please leave it in the comments below.
About addiction, relationships, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we plan to be live next Saturday.
Yes.
So we love you all and thank you for
And
joining
somebody
us.
will have a tan.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
And let's see. One last little thing we got to put across the bottom, Vera.
Okay.
We have to have everybody help us with our mission.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you all. We love our soul tribe.
That way we can do more shows.
Exactly. Okay.